Hallo und herzlich willkommen in der Kulturport Lounge bei ELBJAZZ 2013. Bei ELBJAZZ gibt es in diesem Jahr zum allerersten Mal eine Zusammenarbeit mit dem Copenhagen Jazz Festival und deswegen haben wir hier zwei der Protagonisten dieser Zusammenarbeit auf der orangenen Couch sitzen. Das sind Christian Dalgas vom Copenhagen Jazz Festival und Lars Greve von einer der Bands aus Kopenhagen, Girls in Airports. Happy to have you guys here. I'm really glad that this is working out. It seems like we've only been in Copenhagen and now all of a sudden you come here and we're working together. But it's been in the making a bit, right? This collaboration. Maybe Christian can tell something about how this actually happened.
Well, it's a long story. I try to make it short, but actually, as you might know, there's going to be a bridge between our two countries, which will open up in 2020. But already now we started to kind of getting our two countries closer, and especially the Copenhagen region and the Hamburg region, and try to build up some network with art, with other things that could connect our two cities. And of course, there are two great festivals. There's one in Hamburg, there's one in Copenhagen. And why don't we work together? Why don't we try to attract the audience from each of our festivals to come and see what we can offer?
I couldn't agree more. And it's a funny thing because the countries are so close together. And I mean, I remember traveling to Denmark all the time with my family, and I had even Danish ancestors, and still with cultural exchange, it's been a bit slow over the years. I mean, especially in jazz, there was not really too much of an exchange, or maybe there wasn't. I don't know, Lars. Maybe you can tell me that it was different.
It's changing, and maybe over the years, especially in the more experimental music, there's been quite a lot of exchange from Copenhagen and Berlin, and with playing with different musicians from there.
I think it's great that the way we work together, or this works together. I mean, we're starting off by having Danish bands at ELBJAZZ, and you mentioned there's some people here putting out flyers, and slowly but surely people are understanding that it's sort of a trademark, Danish jazz. And it's been for the last few years. Of course, we all know, the Norwegian jazz is almost a stamp that people put on something and then they buy whatever it is. And, and they even put a sound to it, which I think is very funny. And most of the Norwegian musicians I talk to go like, well, I don't really think we have one sound, if you say fjord jazz one more time, But would you say there's sort of a special thing about Danish jazz?
What's that one?
Thank you very much. Well, that's a very hard one to answer. I mean, as you said, there's been a lot of exchange, not only with Danish musicians and musicians from Berlin, but also with Danish musicians from other countries in Europe, because there's been growing interest and interested in working with improvised music and more experimental avant-garde music. So you can meet more and more without having any agreement, any form. But it's also a small world, so you have to look out from where you are to meet other friends and people who are interested in that music. And I think it started up really strong in Denmark like 10, 15 years ago, don't you think so? With the label called Ilk, They started to work more in that field. But now they are elder men in the beginning of their 40s with kids. But they somehow created a Danish sound at that period, and I think they have been a very strong trademark for Danish jazz. And so if we should talk about a Danish tone or a special Danish sound, it could be one of them, the Ilk sound, whatever that is. But it is in the area of the more experimental and open-minded. On the other hand, you have the next generation, which I think you belong to, and that's you're maybe more focused on the melody and also open. Or how would you describe it?
I guess we're part. We come from the ilk. I mean, those were the guys I listened to when I was younger, and I think to me the music was maybe a little too divided sometimes when I was young. So now, for instance, in Girls and Airports, we really try to make a band and make a band sound, not focus that much on the individual jazz musician, but more on making like a unity. But at the same time, we still play avant-garde, and it's still a mix. Yeah.
I can only say from my own experience that last year at Copenhagen Jazz Festival, I think I saw Girls in Airports first in the beautiful big theater, opening up for Joan Schofield, who didn't show up until like 1 in the morning or so. But you played for that full set. It was so energetic, and what I loved about it, it was not trying to be European, not trying to be this. It was very unique. I mean, of course, there's an Ethiopian strain in there, and there's influences, but the way you work them out, it comes out very unique and very much your own style. And that was my feeling about the Danish jazz thing. The scene was very much like close to each other and no kind of like, we don't play with this guy because he's to this or to that. It's like we all interconnect somewhere. And
it's a small society, so you need to be friends. That's another way to say it, maybe. No, it has a musical point as well.
How long have Girls in Airports been around? I mean, it's the third record, it's just coming out.
And we've been around for 3 years. It's really a fast thing for us. I mean, we made the first record where most of us learned the tunes in the studio, and everything was really fast. And then we won a Danish Music Award with that one, which made us practice and get some gigs. So we made the second album, which was really like where we really wanted to get the band sound, and we were getting into that. And now we're releasing our third album in 2 weeks, which we really think is now we're getting even closer to a band sound.
I was talking about the Copenhagen Jazz Festival before, and I have to admit, we at ELBJAZZ, we think we have so many bands and it's such a huge festival. So last year when I went, I told you the story before, so don't be too bored. But I looked at the schedule and I was scrolling down and I said, wow, I'm only there for 3 days. I can only see so little. And then I realized that was just 1 day. How many concerts do you have during 10 days and almost 1,000 or more than 1,000? Or
I mean, we have this punchline saying 10 days, 100 venues, 1,000 concerts. And that's more or less what is going to happen also this year in 2 months. So, it's 100 concerts per day. A lot of international musicians, headliners, but also a lot of local Danish and Nordic musicians. And it's I mean, as you probably experience yourself, you can't avoid jazz when you're in Copenhagen in that period. I mean, it's on every corner and every small joint, the big concert halls all over, outdoor stages in the parks, in the squares. And that's the idea of the festival. I mean, the basic idea of the festival is to bring out the music to the people in the city.
Yeah, because that's really where it belongs. It's nice to have jazz clubs. It's nice to have people in the know about this, who know every little detail and have every record. But it's also nice to have people who don't know anything about the music just standing there and going, wow, this is really nice. What do you, oh, this is jazz? Well, then I like jazz. So, maybe that's part of our concepts, because that's part of the ELBJAZZ concept as well. It's getting people in from the outside and interesting to a music that we think is great, and just, opening up their ears and kind of breaking with a little some of the misconceptions about this music, So, well, thank you for coming here. Thank you for being here. We look forward to seeing Girls in Airports tonight. And there's also another concert that you mentioned. There's a duo concert with
me and Jakob Blohm. It's going to be the debut for us to play together. So really, really looking forward to that. Yeah.
And then we have a few German musicians coming to Copenhagen Jazz Festival in the summer this year, right? Thank you for that already. And we look forward to doing this for the next... How long has Copenhagen Jazz Festival been around?
36 years.
Okay, so here's to another 36 years of our collaboration. I think that's a good thing to look forward to.
Yeah. Great.
Thank you so much.